first preseason game that happened this weekend. But first, Jacksonville is full of small businesses, which I love to support on a regular basis and hope y'all do too. But have you ever thought about what it actually takes to open and successfully run a small business in general, specifically here in Duval? If so, lucky for you, because we've asked several entrepreneurs from around town to share their insights with us this morning. So with me here in studio are Yanira Cardona, who owns Yaya Productions, Alejandra Amegin, the founder, director, and CEO of Vive Yoga Studio. And on the phone, Zack Burnett, who owns Bold Bean Coffee Roasters. Good morning, y'all. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Buenos
Good morning.
dias.
Happy Monday.
Happy
Good
Monday,
morning.
indeed. And also you, my friend, can join the conversation too. Call us at 549-2937. Tweet us at FCC On Air. Email us at firstcoastconnect@wjct.org. Or message us on the First Coast Connect Facebook page. Now, I'm really excited y'all are here because small businesses are something that we've been talking about for a long time, how supporting local is great. But I don't think enough people take the time to really talk to small business owners and say, are you guys okay? How's this working out for you? How did you get started? So, Janita, I'd love to start with you. Tell us a little bit about your business and how long it's been around.
Yeah, so Yaya Production has been around for 5 years now. As it was born in November 2017 when I moved back to Jacksonville. It's an event production company that also specializes in marketing and promotions. I specifically cater to the minority community, specifically the Hispanic community, but I've also done things for everybody. Some of my clients is Blue Zones.
Shout out Blue Zones.
The Florida Theater, the Jesse DuPont Center, Moving the Margins, City in Jacksonville, Visit Jax. So I am excited to be able to just produce events for Jacksonville and keep it brightful and colorful.
Yeah, if there's ever an event that you've been to in Jacksonville and it was lit and it was fun and it was lively, there is a 70% chance Yaya Productions was behind it. And Alejandra, how about you? Tell us about your business and how long it's been around.
Yeah, so it's Vive Yoga Studio in Jack's Natural Healing. It's been around for 2 years, but, we started off with some grassroots community events, and I feel like for me that was really important prior to opening up the doors, the brick and mortar space, just because, it's very difficult coming in as a new person, new girl onto the scene of business ownership. And, you expect people to just love you right away. Yeah. But I think that grassroots, that community experience and those events that we did for 2 years prior to opening our doors really helped. And it helped me to understand the importance of the community engagement and building that first so that, when I did open my doors, I did already have a little bit of a following, and it really just kind of helped me set up for success.
You had an established community, which can take other new studios a long time to build up like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've seen studios that have opened since I've opened and have already closed because I think they kind of just missed that mark of the community engagement. Yeah.
And Zack, thank you so much for being here and taking your morning with us. I'm sure you've already had a delicious cup of coffee since you're the king of Bold Bean. So, Bold Bean has been around, for years. So please tell us about Bold Bean Coffee Roasters and how long y'all been in the coffee game.
Yeah, so Bold Bean Coffee has been around for 16 years. We're a wholesale and retail specialty coffee roaster. We've got a shop in Jacksonville Beach and a shop in Riverside, and we've got wholesale accounts throughout the country, mainly focused in the Southeast and Florida. And we've been focusing a lot recently on online retail, shipping our coffee beans kind of around the world, mainly in the United States. So yeah, we've seen a lot of growth in that in the past years.
And with you having this history, what made you decide to start Bold Bean here? Like, with the original location in Riverside?
Yeah, we basically, at the time that it started, we just didn't see anybody in Jacksonville doing coffee the way that we thought it should be done, really focused on quality ingredients, but not just the quality of the product, but the quality of the experience when you come to the shop. So that's been really a big vision of ours, is to give people an experience when they come in that's going to make their day better. And yeah, that's really where we see our success, making people's day a little bit better.
And I can attest, there have been several days where I needed a little caffeine pick me up in the zone working session, and Bold Bean's been the scene setter for that quite a few times.
Nice.
Alejandra, I'd love to ask you. So you're not from Jacksonville. You immigrated from Mexico when you were 5, and you spent a lot of time on the West Coast. What made you decide to start a business here?
Right. So I'm a transplant started off in Mayport, Florida because of the U.S. Navy. When I enlisted, that was from California. I ended up in Mayport, Florida. Wasn't like I thought, Miami.
Not at all.
I thought all of Florida was like Miami. So it was a little bit of a shock, just coming from the West Coast. And I didn't like it. I didn't like Jacksonville. I served, got out, moved up to D.C. for some time, was up there, and then ended up moving back to Jacksonville. And still kind of had some, just like a feeling of not belonging. And I realized that the not belonging feeling was coming just from me, from my own story, and my unwillingness to kind of mesh into the landscape of what was Jacksonville. So it really wasn't until I opened up my business and started getting to know people and realized how easy it was kind of to move around, leadership and get to know people. And it wasn't like in other major cities, coming from California and DC, where it's just, there's no access to, hey, city council member, city council leader, hey, mayor, hey, Yaya Productions, who's working with, big organizations, was able to support me in my endeavor. And so it's really easy to like form this like web of support around you. And so when I felt so supported and so kind of validated even in my mission of what I was trying to achieve and attain, it was like, I can do this. And so something that seemed so impossible suddenly became so on my level and so possible.
Yeah.
So I think my advice to other people that want to open up businesses, I'm like, do it in Jacksonville.
So, I mean, it's very interesting that you say it went from feeling impossible to attainable. Yanira, you've also, you've lived around the state of different cities and everything. And your business is very unique because you don't have to have a brick and mortars. But so what have some of those challenges been like for you in, moving around and then eventually settling here and really blowing up the production company?
It wasn't more of a challenge. It was more that I was able to take on what I learned in these other cities and what I learned working with other companies and been able to bring it here to Jacksonville. I saw a niche that was missing. We didn't have a company that was kind of catering to the Hispanics specifically. People were always asking me, like, hey, Yanira, how can I connect to the Hispanic community in Jacksonville? The Hispanic community in Jacksonville is one of the fastest growing demographics here. We're growing literally by 1% to 2%, whereas right now in the census it says that we are 13% in Jacksonville. I would say we're at least 15%, if not more, a little bit. So I decided to do Yaya Production because I wanted to fulfill that niche here. And it was so amazing to be able to, as soon as I started Yaya Productions, and people were like, oh, you're catering to the Hispanic community? Oh, we need to talk with you. How can I market to them? And PGA Tour, believe it or not, was one of my first clients. Nelson reached out to me and was like, hey, I would love for you to be on our marketing committee board to reach out to the Hispanic community and the African-American community, specifically women. And it was just an honor. And so I think, when you find that niche in your community, you got to hold on to it and get ready for that ride because, oof, baby, it's been rough, but we've been 5 years.
And you saw that hole in the events planning community and everyone has shown up. So you put on Viva la Fiesta, which is the biggest and I think still only Hispanic music festival in the city. So tell us about this event and how it's grown so much over the last 5 years.
Oh my God, I get goosebumps thinking about it. It started at the Jacksonville Landing and now it's at James Weldon Johnson Park. Thank you to my partner, thank you to my events partner, Liz McCoy, who's the director at James Weldon Johnson Park. When the landing closed, I needed to move Viva la Fiesta and we moved it to JWJ. It's the only Hispanic festival here and we celebrate the culture of the Hispanic. So when you go to Viva la Fiesta, you don't have to be Hispanic. In fact, I kind of don't want you to be Hispanic to come to my festival, because I want you to learn about our culture. I hate to say it, but some people are like, oh, everyone's Mexican or everyone is Cuban. And we're not. We're all different.
From everywhere.
Exactly. It's like saying Americans and Australians are the same.
Right.
They may speak English, but the culture and the words are different. And it's the same thing in Hispanic. So when you come to Viva la Fiesta, you're going to see traditional dances from Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico, from all parts of the world. You're going to learn, you're going to taste the different flavors of all the cultures, so you can see what Caribbean flavors are compared to the Latin American flavors. And you're going to just really learn and enjoy the culture. And that's what Viva la Fiesta is. And it's going to be Saturday, October 14th. And this year I'm bringing a salsa legend. I'm really excited. You don't need to know how to dance salsa. We're going to teach you.
There are plenty of people that don't know, and they come and have a good time anyway.
Exactly. So thank you. October 14th. Viva la Fiesta.
You're listening to First Coast Connect on WJCT. I'm Catalina Selvagn, filling in for Al. And we're talking with small business owners in Jacksonville to see what it's like for them. What are their big wins and some of their struggles. Zack, I feel like with Bold Beans' elder statesmanship, status compared to some of the younger businesses here, what have been some of your biggest triumphs?
I think I kind of look at it on a day-to-day basis, and I think for us, I don't consider triumphs being awards or like these big events, but for me, the biggest triumphs we have is creating loyal customers who feel like when they come in the shop, it increases their quality of life. So I tell everybody that, being a barista in one of our shops, it's a really important and empowering job because you have the power to positively change somebody's life every time they walk in the door. So if we can treat people in a way where, they come in and when they leave our doors, they're better off to take on the world and whatever they have to do that day, that to me is the biggest success that we can have. I think that's really where we fit into the marketplace is creating a great experience for people through a great product. And that's really where how I mark our successes.
Right. Now, listeners, if you guys want to chime in on the conversation, feel free. You can call us at 549-2937. You can also leave a comment on our First Coast Connect Facebook page. And Zack, I have this question from Chris from Facebook. Since, you've got your brick and mortars, how difficult is it right now finding employees since, housing costs are so high, food costs are through the roof? How's that looking for you right now?
Yeah, we have been very fortunate, and we don't really have staffing issues, and we didn't have those issues before COVID, through COVID, and now. Something that we really focus on is creating a good working environment, and I think by focusing so much energy on that, it has paid off, and us not having to scramble to find spots to fill.
That's great because that's the story. It's been opposite for a lot of small business owners. Alejandra, you've got a small team, of yoga teachers. Do you have that same struggle since your team is fairly small?
Yeah, no. So I think that's a very important topic because you hear that a lot, right? That people are having trouble, but I've had the same team with me since the beginning. And my core team is still remains. But I think that people now don't just go to work to collect a paycheck. They want to be a part of something more important, bigger than, just the hourly or salary or whatever. I think people go to work now for causes. They go to work for a mission. Zack with trying to make somebody's day better. Like there's a mission there. There's a goal. There's a purpose. And I think people are looking for that now and finding identity in their job. So, for me, luckily, I haven't had that issue either. I've got people calling more than I would like, and I feel so bad to say
what a
no.
great problem to have.
But yeah, so I think people want to be part of a movement. They want to be part of a cause, a purpose, like you said. So I think if you can establish that, as a small business owner or as somebody thinking about opening up a venture in Jacksonville, make sure that you take care of that. What is your purpose? What is your cause? What is your mission? And make sure that the whole team understands that and works collectively towards attaining those goals.
Absolutely. It changes the culture and everyone knows where they can go to find those similar beliefs and purposes
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Alejandra, you also opened the brick and mortar at kind of an awkward time. How much did the pandemic impact the business overall in the studio? Like, how much did you feel that?
Yeah. So, some friends over at the SBA, when I was going through mentorship, they're like, "Don't do it.
No.
Don't quit your job. Don't do it." And I think they were trying to look out for my best interest and financially and everything. But in my heart, I was like, this is the time. I saw, I was working as a respiratory therapist in the hospital, taking care of ventilators just all around me. And I felt like that was the time to create, health, to create a different option, holistic options for people and education. And so, yeah, I did open at a very interesting time. And I was afraid, naturally, because the thing was social distancing, don't go around people, don't breathe on people. And I am in the business of community, touching and breathing on people. So it was a slow start, but I think that we came in actually at prime time because there was already this interest. COVID naturally just gave this desire and piqued this interest in people to want to pay attention more to their health and their longevity. And what can I do to prevent from, getting that sick? So I think it kind of, it made a nice road to set up for my success in that time. I think had I opened maybe 3 years prior to COVID, it might have not been the same story.
Because, so many of us had that health scare wake up call. And as sad as it is, it kind of was the silver lining of, 2020 and 2021, people being like, we really got to take our health seriously.
Right.
And in the same vein, so many people around that same time, it was the Great Resignation. Everyone realized, if life is so short, I don't want to keep working this job that I'm not happy in. I want to find my purpose. I was one of those people. I quit my radio job after 9 years.
Right, I remember.
And it was a big deal. And Janita, you kind of did something similar. It was a pre-pandemic, but so full disclosure, Janita and I used to work at a local media company in town. And you decided to quit, the safety net of a corporate job and go full-time solo. What was it like leading up to that?
It was really scary because I don't, like you guys said, I don't have a brick and mortar. I said it right. Look at me. I don't have a brick and mortar. My company is a little bit different. But at that time during COVID, companies were desperate to still connect with the community and do something outdoors. And at that time, I partnered with James Weldon Johnson Park because the park still needed to be active one way or another. And so we were doing outdoor stuff with COVID guidelines. Obviously, we even had stickers on the floor like, please stand here. And we were still getting messages from people like, how dare y'all? But we needed to still keep the community alive, and these businesses still needed to thrive. And so in a way, I hate to say it, it was kind of a blessing for me because these companies started reaching out to me and was like, hey, what can we do that's outdoors, that's community-based, that's still safe? And that's how my company blew up. It literally blew up with, I started working with Cultural Council was one of my clients. So I started working with events with them. And then little by little, all these other companies started reaching out because they still needed that community connection. They still needed to reach out to their audiences. So, of course, keeping all the guidelines of COVID, but we had to do what we had to do. And I'm grateful that more than anything that James Weldon Johnson Park, that Liz was able to see the need, and we were able to help the community keep it alive as much as we could during COVID. And now that it's over, now everybody's like desperate to like get out there.
Yeah.
And so now it's so crazy that it's to the point where I have to turn down work because I'm still building up my team to be able to go ahead and fulfill to do more events here in Jacksonville.
Again, what a great problem to have.
Oh, 100%. I'm not
too
complaining.
busy. I mean, the through line that through all of your stories is community, and not just the community that you're serving, but also the one that you have, the people that are lifting you up. Or, Zach, in your case, a lot of your baristas have gone on to open their own businesses. So you're creating this future community almost. What has it been like to see so many people leave Bold Bean inspired to open up their own business?
Yeah, that is kind of our goal with anybody who comes through Bold Bean. Is, a lot of times being a barista is kind of a transitory job. People do it for a few years and they move on to other things in their career. So when we started this company, I knew that we were going to have employees that were only with us for a short time. So my goal with anybody who ever comes to Bold Bean is that their time with us is more than something where they just come in and they get a paycheck. They're going to be learning something. They're going to be bettering themselves and growing through that process of working with Bold Bean. So when we see people come through, the ranks at Bold Bean and go on and start their own thing, to me, it's really awesome. It's a good reflection that they have gained something through their time working with Bold Bean, and now they're going off and serving people in their own way. It's really kind of like a goal fulfilled when we see people leave our ranks and go on and create their own successes.
Yeah, I mean, you're like an incubator, almost like the people on Shark Tank, except you're not throwing millions of dollars at them. We've got a call from Kate in the Rail Yard District, or maybe we don't. But we do have a question from Autry86, Cecile05 on Twitter, or X, whatever Elon Musk is calling it these days. How challenging is it to be a small business competing with larger businesses that are similar? And Zach, I feel like this is for you. You got a Starbucks on every single corner. Mm-hmm. How difficult has that been? Does that even feel like a challenge still?
It does and it doesn't. It is challenging. Sometimes our prices, they have to be higher than prices at, big chains. And sometimes people don't understand why the, coffee shop with 2 locations has to charge more than the Starbucks with, tens of thousands, however many they've got these days. But basically, we know that we can't compete with them on economies of scale. What we have to compete with them on is quality of experience and quality of products. So if somebody comes in and they spend $5 or $6 with us, our goal is for them to walk out feeling like they had a $10 or $15 experience. Mm-hmm. So we really, we just focus on that quality of experience, quality of product, and don't even really think about anything else. If we can do what we're doing good and focus on ourselves, focus on the people coming in, focus on the people who work for us, that's really how we try to compete with everybody in the market.
It's almost like, that famous saying on the internet, the girls who get it, and those who don't kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can't be, it's a lesson that all of us learn is, you can't be everything for everyone. Bold Bean is a very specific, special vibe.
It's community based. You can feel the community love when you walk. I love Zach. We did a project with them with Cultural Council, so shout out to Zach. They support local businesses. So when you walk in there, you feel the community. Unlike when you go to Starbucks, you're just going to get a good cup of coffee. When you go to Bold Bean, you know that they're going to remember your order. You're going to joke around with them. You're going to see somebody from the community. You could purchase plants and local art. So.
And Zach, I got to give you a little more love from Annabelle on Facebook. She said, kudos to all the small business owners. Love Bold Bean. And I'll always remember finding my favorite French dessert there one day. I'm not going to be able to say this. Kujin Aman. Wow.
Queen Aman.
Queen Aman. Thank you. I never found food anywhere in the U.S. before. The best ever. So kudos to the pastry talent. Adam, at your place as well, too, Zach. So the love continues to pour in for Bold Bean Coffee Roasters.
Thank you all so much.
Now, Yanira, you've grown so much with Yaya Productions, but you had a little bit of help. So I understand that the Jack's Chamber of Commerce has been really helpful with the resources they offer. So tell us how they helped you and how other entrepreneurs can tap into that.
I think networking. I cannot get over the word networking. If you want to get yourself out there, even if you're an artist, I don't think artists understand that you can still go network and present yourself out there. I went to every networking event that there was available, even Jacksport. What do I have to do with Jacksport? Nada. I ain't doing nothing with logistics, but they still need to reach the community. They still need to do community events. They still need to do community outreach work. So that's where I was at. I put myself out there as much as I can with that work because that's the only way I knew I was going to be able to get Yaya Production to grow. So networking is what I could honestly say is what helped me out, meeting people, putting myself out there, emailing people.
Don't be scared to email people.
I'm
the
not
worst they can do
afraid.
is ignore you.
Exactly. And I know a lot of times, a lot of people, when you meet them for the first time, like you're afraid to go up to them and say hi the second time. No, not me. I'll get in your face and be like, hi, do you remember me? No? Okay, well, here we go. Let's start all over again. And that's how my business has been able to grow. And Jack's Chambers, for sure, I'm on their fellowship, Hightower Fellowship. That has been a blessing. Visit Jack's. Visit Jack's provides a lot of opportunity for small businesses, believe it or not. They go out there. Visit Jacksonville has a program right now. They have a 360 camera. They could go to your business and do a free 360 camera for your website, for your social media, and they also add you on their website. So, and you don't have to be in the downtown area. Visit Jack's isn't just for downtown, it's for literally all of Jacksonville. So check to see what services are out there to help your businesses, people.
I'm still stuck on free. A free 360 photo of your business.
Yes, free 360 camera video. They'll go to your business. They'll do a 360 camera, 360 video of your business, and it's free. And that's great that you can use for your website. So there's a lot of free services out there that Jack's Chambers provides. Hispanic First Coast Chambers also provides. Visit Jack's, the Small Business Bureau, like Alejandra says. So just go out there and check those services out. But more than anything, network. I think, and marketing. I don't think enough people understand how big social media is.
Huge.
You and I know this. Alejandra knows this in her business. Marketing, social media marketing is huge. So find your niche. If you don't know what social media it is, go on into TikTok and kind of mimic what other videos and other people are doing.
Yeah.
And it'll work out. But don't forget about social media marketing, because that is huge.
It's not an option anymore, definitely.
It's not.
I just want to caveat what Yaya said and what you asked about Jack's Chamber. I have taken full advantage of the programs that Jack's Chamber has, offers to small businesses. I mean, I was not a business. I didn't go to business school. I had no business knowledge or how to run a business. It was like I opened the doors. Now what?
Yeah.
Where's the money? So I realized, let me go learn. And, Ana Maria from Jack's Chamber was the one that reached out and said, "Hey, do you know about this program, Bridges?
Bridges.
The women's group at the chamber." I mean, I've participated. I have gone. I have, and even for the ones that you have to pay for, I think the cost and the ROI is so big, because
100%.
I think it's like $99, some $75 to participate, but you get 6 weeks with top people in the industry to teach you the way. Dr. Carlton over at the chamber, so supportive, listening, gives you space and, suggestions, feedback. I think the Jack's Chamber, if you need that support, is the place to start. If you're thinking about starting a small business, or you're already open and need some guidance, go visit.
It's worth the investment, especially Jack's Bridges. It's a free program for anybody that has a business. Yeah, they're actually signing people up right now. Yeah. But it's a complete free program. It was a 12-week program, and it literally teaches you how to start a business from scratch, like a business plan. And then at the end, they actually present you to investors, and they get to invest in. They get to, and it's free. And so you just have to look out for these programs. Invest in your business, people. I invested in mine. Alejandra has invested in hers. Zack has invested in hers. You have to invest back in your business in order for you to be able to see your business grow.
That's such a scary thought, because invest means you're spending
money.
You're spending money, and everyone's like, "Oh no, I got to hang on to every dollar that I can."
Yeah. But let's talk about Doc Tony for a second. Doc Tony, when he first came out, I remember I was working for another media company at that time. Homeboy was spending all his money in marketing, literally, in billboards, doing radio shows, doing TV segments. And it worked.
Everyone knows who Doc Tony is. That's the thing.
Exactly.
None of us have to explain who he is.
But it's because he invested in his business the first year. And I think that's what people need to understand. You need to invest in your business first before you can see those cha-ching coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And another really important thing about running a business is knowing where you need to stop spending money. Zack, it was a big deal when the San Marco Bold Bean location closed.
I was
A lot of my
devastated.
friends were Alejandra was
'Cause he's a block.
devastated.
He was a block from me.
Exactly. And I'm sure that wasn't an easy decision. Then it was 3 locations. It was, the brand was growing. What was that like, choosing to kind of cut off that arm of the business and reallocate, resources?
Yeah, it was not fun. It was the first time that we've had to close a location, and my biggest concern was the people that we were going to be putting out of a job, and also the people who were coming into that shop on the regular every day, making it a part of their day and a part of their week. I know how disappointing that was for people on both sides of that. So that was really weighing heavily on me in that decision. But it comes a point where you have to make hard decisions like that for the overall success of the company. So we took that, I hate to call it opportunity, but we took that opportunity of closing that shop to just really refocus on what we were doing in other areas of the business. So we were able to approach, everything else we were doing as a business with a clearer mind and, in a healthier position. So yeah, it's just the, part of owning a small business is making really hard decisions and decisions that you hate to have to make sometimes. But any decision that we make, it's because we have to, and we learn from it and grow from it.
And even with that hard decision, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it the same?
Opening the shop or closing it, or
closing. It was so tough that.
Yeah, it was unavoidable, unfortunately. So if looking back on it, if there were, I feel like we did everything that we could have to keep the doors open there, but in the end, it just didn't work out. So yeah, we have to do it the same again.
Yeah, it's the testament of what we are always saying: support local. You support local, and you're fueling a local economy in all the best ways. I want to thank all of you so much for being here. This has been such a great conversation. Zach, tell everyone how folks can find you and support you at Bold Bean.
You can find us in Jacksonville Beach at 2400 South 3rd Street or in Riverside at 869 Stockton Street. You can find us all the time online at boldbeancoffee.com, and we'll ship coffee anywhere in the world to your door.
Perfect. Yanira, how can people support Yaya Productions?
Yeah, you can go on to our Instagram, Yaya Productions, or on Facebook, Yaya Productions, to stay up to date with all the events that we have. I literally program 2 events per month at the Jesse DuPont Center, Removing the Margins, Art Walk, and Platinum Performance, and then all the upcoming events that we have going on, especially for Hispanic Heritage Month. And Viva la Fiesta, October 15th. You can look it up on Facebook and Instagram, Viva la Fiesta Jax. To get more information.
There you go. Yanira has her plug down. It is a script. Alejandra, how can people keep up with what Vive Yoga is doing?
Yeah, easiest way is visit us at www.jacksonvillenaturalhealing.com. You can find us on social media across Instagram and Facebook. And we're also located in San Marco, just off of Hendricks.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And stay right here, y'all. We'll be back.